Okay, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon. We've got some more cornerback free agents to take a look at here, and now we're moving on to guys that are on a little bit shakier ground, I would say, than the guys in the first video. Those were guys that I'm pretty confident in. These guys I'm modestly confident in. And remember, we're not asking for a lot here. We need a number two cornerback for a year in all likelihood. If we get more than that, great, but understand that we still need that one good year because I do not want to let some rookie corner start every game for the 2026 Seahawks and sink a potential Super Bowl team, which that I mean, even good rookies, that's what they often do. They make mistakes. They do things that rookies do, and it's okay as long as they're not sinking a Super Bowl team. So you have to have veterans. Once again, this is only going to be outside corners. I'm not looking at slot guys. So if you're wondering about a slot guy, I'm not really looking at them here. All right, let's get into it. All right, everybody, before we go any further into this video, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about the Sleeper app and some new functionality they've recently rolled out, Team Picks. With Team Picks, you can pick winners in all kinds of sporting events. Right now, we have NBA basketball, college basketball, NHL hockey is going on, baseball's going to start in a little more than a month, and of course, you have futures in the NFL, even though the games in the NFL are over. Right now, if you look to my left here, you can actually see you can bet on next year's Super Bowl winner. They've got the Seahawks leading the way in those odds, by the way, at 12%. How does that make you feel as a Seahawks fan? But you can bet on MVP, you can bet on draft picks, you can bet on player destinations, all kinds of fun stuff, even though the season is over. So that is Team Picks over on Sleeper. A lot of fun stuff you can do. Okay, so our first guy in this video is going to be Montaric Brown of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another one of these guys, not too different than Cordell Flott. I think I like Flott more, but Montaric Brown's kind of in a similar spot. Had a pretty decent first 4 years of his career in Jacksonville. Played a decent amount of games, has decent ball production. Nothing over the top stellar here, but he was a key contributor of a good defense last year, and I do think he's going to come into some money this offseason. Again, the question is always just going to be about fit. He's not the biggest guy in the world. Not that that stops Witherspoon, but you take a look at Pro Football Focus, the most recent year, they graded him quite well, but not so much in run defense. So worthy of consideration. The previous year, I don't think he played as much, but a little bit higher on it. So it could just be a 1 year thing. Go back to 2023, they didn't like him at all. Rookie year, even worse. But he's been getting better. He's about to turn 27, so there's something. I think that Montaric Brown could be the kind of guy that you're looking for here. The thing is, because he's relatively young and because he is a progressing, developing player, somebody who's gotten better over the last couple years, you are going to have to probably pay him a similar price to the guys we were talking about in the last video. 3 years, 27.6 million is the projection. So 9.2 million per year. That's a little bit less than somebody like Cordell Flott. But again, do you want to commit yourself for multiple years to a player that is, probably good, but seems to have a little bit of a ceiling when you can find somebody who is probably going to be about as good for 1 year and then try to find something with more upside in the draft? Those are the decisions you got to make. Keeping in mind, we don't have a, excuse me. Wow. Keeping in mind, we don't have a lot of draft picks, and we also are in a Super Bowl window right now. So it's a tough call. Montaric Brown's an option, though. Been playing on the outside in Jacksonville for basically his whole career. And there is something good here. He has developed into a nice outside corner for them. Okay, the next guy is Cam Taylor-Britt. Been with the Bengals for the last several years now. Former second-round pick. There's definitely some pedigree here. I remember scouting him in that draft. Um, Only going to be 27 this upcoming year. He's actually going to turn 27 in October, so still relatively young. The issue is, after having two pretty darn nice years in 2023, 2024, where it really looked like he was starting to come into his own, he did not really do very much in 2025. And it's too bad. You take out that 2025, you've got a player with tremendous ball production, takes the ball away, gets turnovers. There's a lot to like here, but then in 2025, he only played half the season, only started 2 games. Like, everything just kinda went out the window, and it puts him in a not great position for free agency. Pro Football Focus was very tepid on his 2025. They gave him a below replacement level grade. 2024, they liked him. They didn't love him. They thought he was okay. 2023, again, not in love. Hated his run defense, but that's not every year. So I'm a little less concerned about it. And rookie year obviously was a rookie year. So this one's kind of tough. I don't know what happened in 2025 exactly. I mean, obviously he battled through injuries, but it felt like it was a little bit more than that, and that's obviously going to reduce the amount you have to pay for him. But maybe that's not a bad thing. If you covet this guy, then you'll like having to pay less. Botrax says 3 years, 27.5 million, 9.2 million per year. That's about the same price as the last two guys we talked about. So if you like him more, then okay, cool. But again, it just feels like you are rolling the dice a little bit because 2025 was such a disaster, and that 2025 was a contract year for him too. So it's not like he didn't know that his value was going to be heavily determined by what he did in 2025, and he still couldn't even really see the field. And again, it's not his fault, but I think you guys understand that a player is more likely to be willing to play through injury when he's playing for that next contract. So Cam Taylor-Britt, another decently priced option. And look, you're going to be taking him from a Bengals defense where he's surrounded by nothing but garbage to a defense where he'd be surrounded by really good players. Maybe that would be good for him. But I can feel the gamble weighing on you. Speaking of gambles, this is an interesting one. Greg Newsome II. Former first round pick, but he's already bounced around the league more than a typical first round pick. Going to turn 26 this offseason, so nice and young, but what are you really getting here, right? Like, he spent some time with Cleveland. He had good moments. He had some not so good moments. Overall, he was a disappointment, and then they traded him to Jacksonville. I think they got Tyson Campbell back, if I remember correctly, which was a pretty interesting trade because Jacksonville was going for it last year and they still gave up Campbell. But they got Greg Newsome back. And I mean, Pro Football Focus, for whatever it's worth, not impressed with his 2025 in any real area. 2024, not impressed. 2023, okay, a little bit better, pretty good. Run defense still pitiful though. And then same for 2022, some good stuff, but bad run defense. And 2021, I mean, that's kind of a trend, isn't it? This guy's never been regarded as a good run defender or tackler. So how does he fit into a Mike McDonald defense? The answer is he probably doesn't. And even the coverage stuff, I mean, there's some good stuff, but there's also some bad stuff. And he played all 17 games last year. He didn't miss any games. So this isn't really a small sample size thing. And 3 years, 27 million, you're going to have to give him about the same amount you give Monteric Brown or Cam Taylor-Britt or Cordell Flott or even Jamel Dean. Pretty close. And what are you paying for other than the first round pedigree? If this is the price, and I don't know if this is going to be the price. I think he could be a lot cheaper than this because what's he done? I don't feel like he's done anything to earn 9 million a year. But if this is the price, what are you really paying for here? This feels like a big gamble, and the only upside is that he's a former first round pick and the other guys aren't. So, I don't know. Kind of feels like he's not really a good fit here. Kind of feels like he's not what we're looking for, but he is going to be a name on the market this offseason, it looks like. Final guy for this video is going to be another really big gamble in Trevon Diggs. And Trevon Diggs, I mostly a big name. Like, he is one of the biggest names in the cornerback market this year. Going to be 28 early in the season, so still in his physical prime, but we are so far removed from the Trevon Diggs that was really covetable, right? I mean, as a rookie, he was good. First team All Pro in 2021, 2022, he was still good. Then he got hurt. Then he wasn't the same. Then he got straight up released by Dallas. Green Bay picked him up and played him for like one game. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. This is a tough one. But we know what he can do at his best, right? He is an outside corner. He is capable of a tremendous amount of takeaways. Was I don't think he ended up getting serious consideration for Defensive Player of the Year, but you can see the production he had in 2021. He had Defensive Player of the Year type production. And I mean, he was a good player. But you look at Pro Football Focus, or whatever we want to take that seriously. I mean, Diggs did play let me see here, 450 snaps last year, and he was graded pretty mediocre, and they thought his run defense was atrocious. 2024, I mean, he didn't play the whole season, but not graded well. Run defense atrocious. I think 2023 was the year he barely played, so forget about that. 2022, okay, they like it. 2021, this was the year he had all the picks, and look at how poorly he got graded, mostly because of the run defense. And I mean, if you can't tackle, then what's the point? Like, if I'm going to do this, then why not just go get Reek Woolen? If I'm going to get somebody that also seems, and it's not just PFF, he has that reputation, right? He's not a very dependable tackler. He's also not somebody that is a shutdown corner. In fact, we've talked about this previously when talking about Diggs. He's a guy who will give up a lot to get his interceptions. 900 yards in 2021 in 16 games. Targeted over 100 times. So they go at him. They're willing to live with the interceptions going at Trevon Diggs. So I don't know if this is the play. Doesn't feel like a Mike McDonald player to me. Botrack does think it's a 1-year deal, though. Only $7.5 million. Somebody will do that. I just don't know if it'll be us. And overall, I don't know if I want it to be us because there's so much downside here. And I mean, there is upside, but not everywhere. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think of this crew. One more cornerback video, and that'll take us home. See you guys later. Go Hawks.